Hello and welcome to episode 6 of our Timberborn 1.0 full release playthrough with the Folktales faction here in Cycle 7, Day 9 on the Down the Plug Hole map. Last episode was a little interesting when I accidentally discharged all of the bad water out of the back of the dam that's going to explode at some point in the future with these unstable cores. But, you know, we managed to make it work. We've got a decent bit of this draining out. We have a little bit more that needs to get done, but obviously I'm not going to send the beavers down here to get contaminated before their time. We also put in aquatic farming. We've got that rolling along somewhat nicely. We're in the process of getting some gristmills set up, reorganizing food a little bit, and improving industrial capacity as well. But there's still plenty more to be done, and honestly, this is really well organized, and we need to do better. So we're going to work on that today. Going to do a little bit more over here as well. Yes, this bad water pump is not in a good spot, so we can remove that. We can move it probably over here would make sense if we're in a bad tide, because there's going to be bad water that comes through here. Unless we manage to get our drain stuff going on this side. So, seeing how this is right now, I think if we're going to have bad water constantly being pumped, which we probably need to, it's going to have to go over here. That's a little far away. But remember, we're playing Folktales, so guess what we have? We have zip lines, and we can get those installed. We have, well, technically right now we don't have the materials because we aren't making anything. But I think that would be a nice goal to get into soon. I won't promise today. It might still happen, but we'll get into all of that. Another thing I need to address is that I played, apparently, when I downloaded this map, a version that was not supposed to be released, which had a lot of extra science over here, and had all of these, reserve warehouses full of explosives and extract and metal blocks and all that. Apparently, that wasn't supposed to be the full release version of the map. So if you download it now, this won't be here, and all of the extra science and everything. So, I'm not going to start over. But that should put into context some of what we've been able to do as being, wow, I can't believe you got to that so soon. Well, let's see, there's a free 8,000 science over here, or whatever it was. So I do want everybody to know that. That was brought to my attention. You probably won't be able to play the version with all the extra stuff on it. But at any rate, let's get something rolling here with our bad water. Again, this is maybe not the best solution ever, but it is a solution, and that is what matters for us at this time. We probably don't need more than one pump, in all honesty, since we're not doing a ton more explosions for a while. But I do want that to be something we can get into. Maybe I want to have this come over. Yeah, we'll go like this. We'll go like this, because we're still going to have bad water coming through here pretty much all the time until we get our drainage super optimized. So that is what I will be doing here. Now, the reason I'm going this far out this way is so that when I put in stairs, I can still get to either side. I just thought this was going to be the easiest, quickest way to do that. So that'll work there. Let's put in, I don't want to put a large tank, but a medium tank is going to be fine. Just shove that right up there against the, what do you call it? Set that to supply. They'll get to this eventually. But for right now, like I said, it's not an issue. Not something we really need to be super worried about. But what we should do is we should fix our water pumping, move it somewhere else, because honestly, this is not a good setup. And this is land that we could be using for food purposes. We have 2,600 water. At least one person said that was way overkill. But I'll counter with, you can never have too much water in this game. But I will humor you guys, and I will take away all of those pumps for the time being. We're going to have these small tanks drained, and I'm going to put the pumps somewhere else. In fact, for how this is set up, we could get away with putting pumps up here, or honestly, the easiest thing to do that makes the most sense, in my opinion, for how this is currently set up, is to put in 2 pumps here and just be done with it, at least for right now. We have a huge thing of water that would be set up very well as a supply. I think this just makes sense. And 2 is going to be maybe not quite enough for 40, 50 beavers. But it's a good start. In fact, seeing how this is set up, I'll put in a 3rd. And we're going to call that good for right now. I know, long term, that's probably not great. But we also, don't forget, are going to be able to get the large water pump before too long once we have access to the treated planks. And that'll help us out tremendously. Now, why did I put the badwater pump here instead of back here? Well, in addition to, there currently being bad water here, and this being slightly, technically not closer, but it's about to be, we also, down here, have bad water drains. Bad tide drains, I should say. They're at this level. But when bad tide happens, obviously, these are going to be shoving out a bunch of bad water. Each of these are like 2 or 3, and I've got 4 of them. 2 or 3 power, I meant, CMS, but we're going to have a lot of bad water coming through here. And I'm pretty sure how this is set up now, this is not going to be enough. And remember, we did kind of plan for this, and I was going to deepen this channel, maybe 2 or 3 deep, but then we got distracted, as one does, and we'll have to come back and take care of this. Now, the funniest possible thing, and by funniest possible thing I mean not fun for me, but really fun for you guys, is that this cycle is the one with the bad tide, and it's going to overwhelm all of this nonsense. But I'm not going to speak that into existence any sooner than I have to. So we're just going to let this thing keep on rolling along. But we do need to make those bad water exits, or I guess just whatever we want to call them, we need to make those a lot bigger. And that'll happen in due time. So we'll just keep watch over this. But remember what I said about the zip lines. I love the zip lines. It's one of the greatest things they've added to this game. And honestly, they're not that expensive. And we have the science. So why don't we take full advantage of that and start the process of getting this hooked up? Maybe right here isn't the best place ever. But it's a place it'll allow us to get that done. Let's do pylons, get that taken care of. Remember when you're placing zip lines, for those of you who are newer to the game, if you place a pylon or another station within range of any given thing, this is just the first one we put down, there's going to be this little blue-green, turquoise color, possibly depending on the color settings on your monitor, pointing in the direction of where you're going, and as soon as it goes out of range, it disappears. Which for this one looks like right about here. Don't mess with me now. Yeah, anyway, so I think what's going to make sense is for us to come through here. Okay, this is just slightly too far. There we go. I'll go... I think they should be able to reach this. Yeah, I'll put a pylon right there, and then I'm going to put another station all the way down here. Or maybe I should put it over, maybe I should put it up here. This is a decent middle ground. Maybe I should just stop worrying about it and just put it right here. I think that's going to be fine. This is going to be a decent shortcut. These buildings, for the resources we have now are honestly kind of expensive. But I think they're fun. And, that's what games are supposed to be, is fun. So we'll do that. We'll have them build it. It's not going to be super fast, but they will build it. And then we'll be all set. I think these are empty, so let's go take those out. We can't forget that they need to pick the stuff up. There we go. Correct syllables. And they're not going to do it automatically. I was kind of used to playing with a mod that would allow them to do that automatically. But I don't have that right now. So I don't want this stuff to decay like it did in our tunnel here. That was just a little bit tragic. So we should be smart with how we're doing things. Just let them do what they've got to do. We can, since we cleared up a little bit of this space, plant some more stuff, I believe. Yeah, that should be pretty simple to take care of. Yeah, see, that's just good business sense right there. And what do we have here? We've got space. Not the final frontier kind, but we do have space for a warehouse or two, depending on how we want to have this set up. I think based on the fact that we've got wheat flour, well, we're not making because we're not growing any wheat yet. We got wheat flour and we got cattail roots and we got all this other stuff. We might as well, it's actually, not let me get ahead of myself here. We might as well build out over the top of all of this some storage we can actually use. Yeah, I've already got the double platforms. I know I don't have a lot of planks and I'm building a bunch of stuff that needs planks. That, folks, is just how it goes. We're going to be okay. But I do really like the idea of utilizing some of this space over the water. Even if it's not the, the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, it's going to be better. Oh, good, we have a drought and not a bad tide, so I can actually go and take care of that before it's too late. What was this one doing? Cattail flour. Yeah, let's make this one for cattails, which the raw version is here. And then the cattail flour is also in the same category, but it's the point is the building's right there. It's not the closest thing to where this aquatic farmhouse is. We'll survive. Not that big of a deal. I just thought this would be a decent place to do it. And of course, they have to be able to get to this in the first place, but we'll be alright. Now, depending on how I wanted to have this situated, we probably honestly don't need the wind turbines. But, I'm going to choose not to do too many dumb things. Oh, I needed that one. I'm going to choose not to do too many dumb things in the pursuit of doing one or two smart things. And I realize that probably didn't make a single lick of sense. Such is life. Why don't I right here... Yeah, see, this really isn't a... this really isn't a good setup. Why am I even doing this? I really should not be committing to this. Oh well, life goes on. No, that's not where Spatterdock's supposed to go. It's supposed to be for wheat. And then I want one for wheat flour. Yeah, because these really don't hold very much. Wow, they've already got cattail roots and cattail flour. Because I guess these don't take... They're only 8 days to grow. That's fine. Do I want to... I'll tell you what. Why is the game paused? I don't need to do this. I really don't need to be doing this. Let's take out... Music for this game is so good. No, that's the wrong button. Why am I spending so much time thinking about this? If I do a double here and a thing there... Yeah, I'm just going to do this way. It's fine. There is a YouTube video of professional musicians recording the main title screen theme music for Timberborn in 2021, I think it was. I think it's the composer of the music herself posted on YouTube, which I think it is wonderful to see, actual human beings performing music for video games. Because I used to do music composition arrangement before I got super deep into doing YouTube and a bunch of other things. And, I could never hire an actual professional orchestra to do anything, so I just had my VSTs, and I had all the MIDI stuff, which, it's fun, it's good, but nothing beats actual humans doing creative stuff. I think that's really important, and I love that that is what happened with this game. But that's not really that much what we're doing here. So we're just gonna move on. That just reminded me as soon as this soundtrack bit came on here. But what I'm going to do here, yes, even at the cost of some of these plants, but we're going to be okay, is just for right now, not necessarily forever, put in a what do you call it? Storage, because I've made a huge mess here. I've made an absolute mess here. I really need to just, stop talking when I'm trying to do all this. Because I only need that there, and then I only need this. What in the world am I doing here? Okay, man, I am not playing with a full deck, huh? I could nest those. Anyway, 6-day drought, it's fine, not a big deal. Now I'm more I'm more interested in trying to figure out what in the world I thought I was going to be doing with this. That's probably fine to stay like that. Yeah, I just need these guys to get rid of all this. Anyway, warehouse here, and then I guess this is going to be okay. Something right here, maybe a good spot to put in some decorative thing, like maybe a bulletin pole. We are going to do well-being in this playthrough. I know I haven't really done very much of it. But we do have our first zipline station. And the progress on this one is coming along. And then, of course, this will be useful as well. Yeah, I don't really think we need to be super worried about much of this. Oh, hey, there's stuff over here that can get picked up. I just always assume they're going to do it, and then I forget. They aren't going to do it unless I tell them to do it. Yeah, there's lots of this stuff they're not really doing right now, but that's okay. I probably should also, you know, automate these. But we do have the fill valve that's going to keep this topped up to 0.6. You know, which is very helpful since we have all of this water back here. And then we have these things pumping away, so on and so forth. Is what it is. I'm doing what I can, folks. I'm doing my best. I hope you can appreciate that. You know, seeing this, I think I can rotate. If I rotated this 90 degrees, I put this here. Oh, we'd actually lose space. Growable. Okay, well, that's not great. But because this has been, yeah, you know, I'm gonna move this one more over. And you might be saying, no, don't do that. You're gonna lose. No. Remember, we have the technology. We can rebuild it. I can put the staircase here instead. And now, guess what? I've got another row. I love it when a plan comes together, even if it's by accident. Sometimes, especially if it's by accident. But I digress. Repeatedly. This is going to be yet another project they will take care of in due time. And we'll be able to, you know, hopefully before the heat death of the universe, get this figured out. Okay, so that's figured out. We've got 33 more planks come over here. Oh, I'm wasting my time. I am wasting my time. I need them to be... oh, boy. I need them to be coming over here. And I also needed to make a note. And I made a note and then I forgot to mention it. Yes, this kind of scenario is exactly what the gate building is for. I don't have the time to mess with that right now. So I want to send him down here to be able to take care of blowing this up. So, we've got resources. No, that's the wrong button. Demolish buildings. That's the one I want. Get all that stuff back. Yes, we're going to take away the fences. And the reason why I have this set up here is because I'm going to, I think 2 blocks deep is enough. I'm gonna, you know, make this about as big of a hole as I can, so we can get all of this stuff taken care of. And I've only got 3.5 days. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna get it done, unless, of course, I make it a priority. So make these the highest possible priority. That's 18 of those times 2 is about half of our extract right now. I don't remember if I built a centrifuge. Well, it's not unlocked, so we definitely didn't. I'm going to try for... You know what? Instead of having however many that is, 15. No, come on. I should do this because that's going to give me more of a chance to get bad water sooner. So we'll do that. I can always put this back in later. I just want to be as prepared as I possibly can. So I took away 6 there. That's going to get me... That's going to help. If I can get also these tunnels blasted, that's going to really make a big difference. Do we have enough extract to make that work? You know, I honestly don't know. Couldn't tell you. But I do think we're going to be in a decent spot here. I do have planks available, so they shouldn't have any problem once I can get over here, finishing this, and then that's going to make that just way faster. I think everything else is probably okay. I do need to plant more of these chestnut trees. I also, you know, I should probably put in a staircase here so this is more direct. I know I'm giving them a lot of stuff to work with, but, you know, remember, it takes a long time for all of this stuff to get planted. Don't forget. Definitely don't forget that. Now, what kind of progress are we making here? Okay, they got that one done. That's through. That's good. That's really going to help. Because remember what I said about these things kicking into overdrive. We want to make sure that we are prepared as we possibly can be. So, I know it will come as a source of distress to those of you who really like the fences on the outside, but I think keeping the bad water away from what we're trying to do is just a tiny bit more important. So thank you very much for understanding on that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do a little bit of a time lapse here on them putting some of this stuff in place. And we'll come back at the end of the drought, make sure these guys don't get completely poisoned, and talk about what's next. Alright, so the drought is over, and I was an idiot for thinking they could actually get that accomplished. The bad news is that this poor beaver is at minus 50% working speed, minus 35% movement speed, and the bad water's coming. I don't know if he's going to escape, but we definitely need to remove paths. I know they're going to continue doing the job they've already been assigned to do unless the path is physically blocked. But, you know, it's not a huge problem right now, but within the next half a day or so, oh boy, is it going to be a problem. So, yeah, I was really hoping they could actually get this done, and it seems I overestimated their capabilities. So, you know, it is what it is. But as long as everybody's finished... Oh, nope, that one went down. Okay, well, that was not a very good choice, my friend. All right. Now, assuming there's nobody here. Well, we'll chalk that up to, you know, mismanaged expectations. Delete that, and now the problem's solved. We have, thankfully, the zipline station that is going to be substantially more complete now that they had access to some of these planks. Unfortunately, I did have to cut them off. It is what it is. At least we have bad water again. We're able to continue making stuff. And, you know, there's still construction that needs to be done, and we are nowhere close to having all of that accomplished. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We do, you know, only have the 4 beavers in the district center as builders most of the time because this is deprioritized. We just don't have enough beavers yet, which is a very good segue to the next point I wanted to make. We need more beaver storage. Now, that's how you make beavers in this playthrough, at least. I think it's going to be a smart idea to slowly swap out some of these for higher capacity stuff. And this right here, doing this exactly in this manner, is going to allow us to remove this stupid path segment. I know they're not going to get to building this for some time unless I prioritize it, so that's what we're going to do. That's going to give us an extra 3 beds, and then we can, you know, eventually get this looking slightly less terrible. Now, how do I have this set up underneath here? I got 2 little lodges. I did say we're going to redo this at some point. I didn't really specify when that point would be. So I guess I'm not really firmly wedded to it at this time, but it's fine. It is what it is. I did say I was going to leave a spot for either a tank or a centrifuge or something right here. We're just about fully tapped out on this geothermal engine as it is. But we don't have to have everything running all the time. We can also, you know, put in wind turbines and gravity batteries and all that other good stuff. So I think what's going to make the most sense here is to put a centrifuge in this slot. And then, because of how this is configured here, probably... see, I wish the stairs were one block further. Probably start looking at putting a big tank either here or here. Well, here would make more sense to have a tank for the extract. I could also just demolish all of this garbage here. But to answer the other question that is, I am certain, on everyone's mind, what are you going to do about power? Well, we have the ability to put in additional wheels. And if I know this only says 24, but if I put here a 53, 51-ish, and this says 25, by the time this is actually, you know, operating, I think it's going to be considerable enough to make up for it. Even if it's just a little tiny bit more. This will, of course, have to have a power network. I'm going to put, I guess, right here. Should be able to do most of this. Probably going to end up doing one here, and then one here. Even if it doesn't make anything. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's going to be all right. If I wanted most of the flow to actually, you know, go to power generation, I'd put it up here, but this is closer. And for right now, that's honestly all we need. We just need this to, at some point in time, be making more power than it currently is. So, as I said, we'll get there. Just have to trust the process. And, by the way, the zipline station works. We might, in the future, want to put one over here. Oh, look how much nicer this is flowing. Let me turn this back on. Yeah, that's going to make a big difference, folks. And I know this is... it hasn't reached capacity yet, but it's going to be overwhelmed really fast as soon as we have a bad tide. We're making progress. We're getting there. We can also, and honestly should also, put in some additional zipline stuff. Zipline networks, if you're not familiar, can only connect from one item to the next. There is no branching. If you want multiple lines, you have to have multiple sets of stations that are not physically connected. You can sometimes get away with doing some tomfoolery with, we call it kissing doors, like one here, one here. This would allow you to connect to two other stations, and this could connect to two other stations, so theoretically that splits it 4 ways, but it starts to get kind of complicated. And at least early on, I don't think I need to cause too much misery for you guys. So if I put, say, for example, this right here, this isn't necessarily a great placement in terms of distance from this other one, but this is a major thoroughfare, and it's 19 meters. It's not like it's nothing. Access to the zipline infrastructure is generally more important than having something that's super well laid out in terms of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, it's like a mass transit. Well, it is a mass transit system. If they can't get to it, they're not going to use it. And if it doesn't go where they want it to go, they're not going to use it. Now, in Timberborn, it's a little bit simplified because it essentially counts as a faster walking path. So you'll notice, say, for example, right here, District Center, Origin, Space 0 right here. This building is 18 tiles from the district center. That's all well and good. This building is 49 tiles from the district center. But you might be saying, that's a lot more than 49 tiles, and you'd be correct, except the zipline station is a plus 150% movement speed. So that effectively reduces the distance, is how the game ends up calculating it. So you do have an advantage, even if it's not a super efficient placement. Just having a zipline system, having a zipline station somewhere near something far away is still way better than not having it. Anyway, that's my justification for putting that there. I also have realized we don't have a smelter anymore because I took it out. Not sure what was, not sure what my plan was with that. I definitely need to have that again. So I'm gonna just put this back in, and we're not gonna worry about it. I think it's gonna be fine. Now, this is not gonna be able to generate enough power. Like, let's just make that abundantly clear. But it's gonna be okay. I know we don't have scrap metal coming in. That was going to be what I was going to put over here. And we can still do that. You know, we do have the zipline pylons and everything we can use to connect all of this through. And that's what I was going to say. So I'm going to put a zipline station over here. And then I remembered, I don't have enough stuff to actually make scrap metal. I could also put it over here maybe, but the power sources aren't really reliable. Yes, I know this is here. No, I don't want to path up to it right now. And there isn't another one nearby for me to, you know, not see. And then people will go, oh, you missed it. It's going to be all right. Anyway, there's a ton, and I mean a ton, of scrap metal over here. So if I've got this in a central location, so I can get absolutely everything. I want it to be a little closer. I think they can get just about everything right here. We'll do that. We'll put 2 here. I'm going to give them a pile. And that pile here, we set to supply. Do I have another one? Okay, where's my piles? Okay, that's just 20. And that's the one we're building. Okay. That works for me. I think we'll be okay. They'll get to it eventually. But they're obviously not going to be able to build this zipline station until we actually have more metal blocks. Which means this is pretty important to get done. And this is also kind of important, but we'll get there. We'll get there. See, this is coming around this side. Now, if I want to be a little cheeky with the power production here, I can choose to not lower that. I can choose to lower this just a touch to let some of this over. This is set to 2.0. This is probably going to have to be down. Yeah, see that's going to let just a tiny bit. That could make a big difference. Remember, this was like 54, and it's not going to show it unless I remove it, but now it's at 60 something. This is at 0 before. Now this says 56. Now, it is very important that this doesn't, if I don't change it, that this doesn't completely screw me over when we have a bad tide. And I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue because, oh, never mind, there's no huge amount of water coming through here. Just trying to figure out. I think the better thing to do with this would have been to put in a throttling valve, I think. Yeah, and then anyway, I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be, and this probably isn't staying like this. But I did want to demonstrate that it actually might be possible to make some decent power here. This should probably be a priority. Yeah, I do want them to build this faster. Okay, that worked out nicely. Who's got nothing to do in range? Oh, that's because the stairs aren't done. Okay. Well, you know, stairs are going to be pretty important. I think that would be fine. We still don't have enough potatoes, really? Not enough potatoes. Not enough potatoes. Oh, we also need to grow wheat. That is kind of an important thing. Yeah, that's better. That's better than nothing. I still got 3 beavers in here. They're not really. They could use some help, honestly. Yeah, they haven't even gotten these potatoes out of here. Let's prioritize potatoes for a little bit. Let's take a detour. Try to get them to take this potato out of the way. And then maybe at some point they'll demolish this slope. I know it's a super low priority thing, even if I haven't selected lower priority. That's just how it treats that. But I do really want them to be able to take care of this. Well, we'll see what happens. This is still looking okay. This is technically not connected pathwise. That doesn't need to be a thing. I need to put a gate here, is what I need to do. But I'm more interested in very, very selfishly hoping we get another drought here. So that we can finish all of this mess, or else we're going to have a... an interesting, we'll say, interesting time with what's about to happen down here. Alright, that's too far from a district. And oh, they built that other thing. Okay. Well, I guess that's alright. We can have them build that and then that. And I think this is the one that's going to have to be a vertical power shaft, which means... I'll need another one here. That should still function just fine. And for now, I don't have anything else to put here, so I'm just going to build that because that's going to have to be how it works. They still have not gotten to my potatoes. Well, they will soon. Eventually. Maybe. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to do it. Just come down. Come on, right down here. Grab these potatoes. And then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. That has to go there. That has to go there. And we're... okay, they got the potato out. That's good. They are demolishing that, so that's good. This is in the process of being constructed, so that's good. This is going to go here. Oh, you know what? Regrets, regrets, regrets. I could have put in a wind turbine on top of this. I used to always do that. But I didn't. I didn't do that. That would have made so much more sense. Oh, do I want to? I think the answer is yes. Alright. This... Alright, look, I know. I know it's annoying. But I just have to. It's a single log. I'm not going to worry about it. And again, the reason... Hello. The reason why I do this is so I can put a wind turbine on top and it has the clearance. It just makes sense. Like, there's really no reason not to do this. And I can put another one right here on top of that just as soon as that's taken care of. Things we do for efficiency. Oh, they finally got around to it. Good. They got around to that as well. That is very good news because now I can put these things in. And I suppose it doesn't really matter. Wheat flour, that's not wheat flour. That's wheat flour. There we go. There we go. Alright, so the next thing that we really have to do is be able to process our spatterdock because we've got a decent amount. It gets grilled like the chestnuts, not roasted. So I have to have a place for that to go. And I don't really like how this is set up, and I know I've said that a lot, but... Oh, we can turn that on. How do I want to go about doing this? I can make something kind of whimsical looking and put that there. And then I'd be very tempted to use the spiral stairs, but I can't use those yet. We'll just do this. Get that set up. I can make one of these. Where's my spatterdock closer to? I didn't make one. Ah. Well. We'll be alright. These can actually store a decent bit. I don't think that needs to be a huge problem. Do I want to put this here and block this off? I think it's probably fine. Yeah. So I guess I'll make this one for grilled chestnuts. This one could be for grilled spatterdock. Is it, is it optimal? No. But it works. It's not a completely stupid design. Alright, that is going to take its own time there. They're using the zip lines, which was the kind of whole point of doing this. I want to put another one over here, too. In this industrial area. Now, that is in range. It is not connected to the pathway. This would actually be a good spot for it right here. But we have the, we have these things in the way. Let's just keep adding those. They'll get to them in due time. I do think that's going to make most sense. This doesn't quite fit here. Actually, right here might have been a decent spot for it. Anyway, we're doing what we can. Look at that, 181 HP. I love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. But this is still demanding way more power than this poor thing can produce all by itself. Of course they can't get planks. I don't have any more plank things. Yeah, we're just... everything we're building needs planks. That's the, that's kind of the whole problem here. So I'm going to do these guys a solid and pause gear production so that'll, you know, every 3 hours frees up 2 planks. I think we're just going to have to accept that. Still don't have quite enough beavers. Yeah, see, right here is really not a great spot for this. What else? What else am I to do? I don't know that this is really a great, super useful path here. I say as they immediately all start using it. Okay, I won't do that. What I will do is put another lodge right here. And then, well, that'll give us a few more beavers. Yeah, what about some of this other stuff? I mean, I've got plenty of things. I know shrub aesthetics, not really the highest priority on my scale here. But if I put this here, I can also, no, not with the single, with the double. I can go on. I know more planks. I can go on top of that, and then I can stick something else. Contemplation spots. Do I have a contemplation spot? I have it unlocked. I think I put one in. I do. I have one. Probably want more than one. Yeah, I just need more planks. I really need more planks. So maybe I should have tried a little harder to get this thing hooked up, huh? So where are the rest of the planks even going to? Ah! Okay, well... boys and girls, we're gonna find out. We are going to find out real quick just how bad the bad tide is going to get. I unfortunately can't send any beavers down here unless I want to poison them. Now I know edge math is no longer a thing. However, comma. K for kaboom. This just feels a lot better doing this. I know it probably isn't going to make a lick of difference. But, you know, that's life sometimes. This is almost certainly going to overflow and cause very bad problems. I'm going to disconnect this in advance. They will not come over here to get stuff out unless I demolish it, and it's a builder's job and not a hauler's job. But see, I don't know that I want to remove this dam here either, because this goes all the way around. Yeah, well, we're gonna find out. It theoretically shouldn't get deep enough to flood areas we're actually building in, but we are definitely gonna want to fix this. And of course this is okay. Now I might be panicking a little bit. Okay, let's hit pause. Not that I can, you know, really change anything at this point, but let's think about this before we get to the really bad thing. So we're gonna have not only all of this. Oh no, there's like, oh, how many bad water sources are this? That's a bad water seep, is it? Yes, okay. So we've got that. We've got a bad water source here. We got a badwater source here. I think that's it. That's it, he says. That's like 8 strength right there. What is this? What is this coming in from? Oh, okay, that's all. It's all coming from 1. All right, so that's like 8 strength there. Plus this. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, we're gonna find out. Plus this. Plus all of these. Oh god, it's every source on the map. Every single source on the map is gonna be coming through. Not this side. No, no, no. It's gonna be coming through. Oh no. Well, you know, yeah, I got nothing. We're gonna be in trouble. At the very least, we do have, we got this going for us, which is nice. Okay, let's see if we can survive this. I'm glad we blasted all the way down for the diversion. That was good. That was a smart choice. I really hope that this setup works. We will, of course, be monitoring it with great anticipation. But boy, oh boy, is this going to probably be bad. They still can't get to this because they still don't have planks. Well, this isn't going to get poisoned. Unless something goes just catastrophically, horrifically wrong. Maybe I want this to still be down some so that the shock to the system doesn't overtop. I don't know, man. Oh, God. Well, you know, we're only 49 minutes into this, so we're absolutely going to have to see this through. The good news about bad tides in normal mode is the bad tides duration scales based on how many bad tides that you have. So this is probably going to be a pretty short one, and therefore not be nearly as big of a disaster. Well, here we go. Yep, just 1 day. So, you know, could be a whole lot worse. We're waiting for this to activate here, and we are going to come back to that in a second, but I am concerned about the amount of flow coming through here. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Okay. So measurement here, 1%, 2%. Okay, that slammed open. That slammed closed. All right, boys and girls. Get your antidote ready that I definitely haven't been able to make yet. Because I don't have any paper. All right. Well, you know, let's not borrow trouble before we have to. Okay, that's you know, it's going through here. It is going through here. And it hasn't oh no, I forgot. Oh no. No. Triple no. We cannot. We cannot allow these beavers to come down here. Yes, I know it should have been a gate. Eventually we'll do that. This is the panic response. That means we're not going to get this extra power here. But it's only a day. It's only a day. It's going to be all right. Honestly, I was kind of expecting it to be worse. Maybe it is, you know, pacified slightly by it only being a 1-day bad tide, so the sources don't just automatically slam from 100% clean to 100% dirty. There is a little bit of a ramp up and a ramp down, so you're not going to get a ton. But look at this. Oh, we're getting almost 500. At one point, we're getting almost 500 HP per wheel. I'll tell you what, that is great for power production. It's horrifying for everything else. So, you know, at least we know what's going to happen. And it seems we were actually fine, and I was just worried about, you know, things that weren't going to matter. Story of my life. But now we're in cycle 9. We survived our first bad tide. This is possibly in the wrong spot. Someone did make a mention that I should have put it over here, and I think I agree. I'm obviously not going to send a beaver in here to do this right now, because this does need to be... No. We're going to change this threshold to greater than 0, because there's still bad water coming through all of this. And there will be bad water coming through all of this for quite some time, because this is going to take probably a day and a half to flush. If it does. This is... yeah, that's going to have some lingering for quite some time. Well, is this just going to slosh back and forth? I guess it will. Yeah, I'm going to have to put another thing in here. Live and learn is what it is. I do feel compelled to just continue watching this until it decides it knows how to solve the problem. Okay, I'm gonna no longer automate this just because I need this to stay open. We'll fix it. We will fix it. But I'm afraid. Oh no, bad water, it's so awful. You know what I mean. So we need another drought so we can get these guys back in here to take care of this. But honestly, you know, I'm not feeling too bad about it. I think we've made a lot of good progress, a lot of good improvements. And we can be pretty happy with ourselves. Let's get this hooked up here. I know this is, you know, technically still kind of close, but this to this would have been too long of a distance, just barely. And this does connect. Again, it gives them options. And that's what you want to do. So this is, that's clean. We know that's clean. That's clean. That's not connected. These are, I'm going to say clean enough. Clean enough. Let's automate this to that, and automate this to that like it was supposed to be the whole time. Ah! I modified the deal, and then it became a problem. Okay, so that's that's what we want. And that's gonna back up there. Yeah, I think we're okay. Now, we do need to, at some point, get up here, since this is just a seep, and do our little protection thing. That is on the to-do list for some time in the future, not today. I do want to do the stairs again, and then I want this, and I want that. That's going to get us a very good start. It's going to get us a very, very good start, and that will, of course, be connected here, and here, and here, which they'll be able to get to with no issues. Gravity batteries will come in time. This is going to be very, very, very good power security for probably a while. I think we can feel good about that. Flooded buildings no longer flooded. I know this does that pulsating thing while everything's equalizing. I think we're okay. I know I need to replace these with floodgates. Maybe I should have done that. Why is this flooding so bad? This shouldn't be a problem. Because we already had this at the exact same... Well, it's probably the dams. I know. I think we're okay. Maybe. Well, yeah, I am going to have to end this episode here because we're coming up on an hour, and this seems like a decent spot. But yeah, I feel good about this. I'm growing more and more worried with every passing second about when those big old things are going to detonate. So I'll leave you with this as this continues flooding. It seems a lot of you, disappointed might not be the right word, but a lot of you wanted to see what would have happened when these unstable cores went off if we hadn't drained the reservoir. So here's my proposal. When we know when these are going to go off, the moment we get the notification, I'm going to make a save that we can come back to, go into dev mode, and make it possible for all of the bad water to accumulate back behind here, fill in the holes, whatever, and then we use that alternate history save file, whatever, and put that at the end of that episode, whenever the dam actually gets blown up. Put that at the end of the episode and see just what kind of carnage would have happened. I think that would be fun. So let me know if that's something that interests you. I'm probably going to do it anyway. But we're not going to, the dev mode modified stuff, we're obviously not going to use in the real playthrough. But I really want to see what would have happened. So yeah, give it some thought. I think it would be fun. But I really appreciate you guys being here, supporting this series. All the wonderful comments on the last couple of videos have been fantastic. I do try really hard to make these interesting. But again, I'm not going to take mistakes out, which I think a lot of you have come to appreciate me doing it that way. And I'm not going to sugarcoat when things go wrong. It's just, it's the authentic experience of playing the game. Showing you, not necessarily showing you what to do, but maybe showing you what not to do. So you can learn from my mistakes. I think that's a very important, very good, effective way of learning. At least for me personally. Feel free to disagree. But I'm glad you guys like the stuff. And of course the beard boosters who make all of these things possible by subsidizing the channel so I don't have to do sponsors, don't have to edit the videos down for the algorithm, don't have to put clickbait or whatever. We're just having a fun time playing with beavers on the internet. And I'd like to keep doing that. So once again, I appreciate you. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.